everybody, we're back for another video, and today's video is about journaling. I've seen a lot of people comment a lot lately about, journaling in the happy times, journaling in the sad times, not wanting to journal, lots of different stuff regarding journaling. And I wanted to pull out this insert here. This insert is the insert that came with my first Midori Traveler's Notebook that I bought. The first Midori that I bought was this one right here. It's a brown Midori, just a simple brown Midori Traveler's Notebook, and it said Midori, made in Thailand. And this is the insert that came with it. Of course, I bought a couple of others, but this was the one that came with it. And this was the first, journal for me in quite a long time. And everyone knows it's not that thick of an insert, the one that they send with it. It maybe has 60 pages. And again, you can see I didn't really... But what I did was I started it on November of 2014, even though I'd had it longer than that. And I finished it in February, March of 2016. So this tiny little insert took me, year and a half, almost 2 years, maybe, and it's kind of interesting because I didn't really do things in order. Like there's 1028, 1016, 1018. So many people feel that you have to, I think because of the Hobonichi. A lot of people buy the Hobonichi and want to use it for their daily journaling. And why I think it's admirable to want to journal daily, I sometimes think that doing journaling in a system like the Hobonichi can be a very detrimental thing. Number one, it's a dated calendar, so you're limited on some space. Now, of course, this is a passport, which is much smaller than that. If you get, say, like the A6 size, it's quite a bit smaller. Or if you compare it with the A5 size, it's quite a bit smaller. But I think because it is dated, it has an innate purpose in it, and that purpose, my thought only, is for planning. I mean, that was the original creation for that, as a planner, a calendar, a schedule, to keep you, on task at work, in school, in your life, just keeping you, on track. So why I think it's wonderful to have the desire or the want to journal every day. I don't think it is possible for 365 days a year for, multiple years in a row. So I'll probably say things that will upset a lot of people. And that's okay. But with that, if you go 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days, all of a sudden a week goes by and you see that you haven't used it. I know for some people it can be very defeatist, and then you might end up just stop doing that altogether. So while I think it's very admirable, I don't think that people will journal every single day for the year. And then you have this feeling that you need to back journal. Now, if you're doing, like art or just pasting in stuff like this, that makes it easier. But if you're journaling about your day, that can make it tricky. So I have a lot of different size inserts here. Now, my journal over the past few years has taken on many sizes. It's gone from passport to this summer, a little micro. I've had A6. These right here are a bunch of B6 Slim. I have a B6. This is just one of the many standard Midori size that I have. Just one A6. And then I tried A5 for One Book July. Was that 2 years? 2 years ago? And yeah, it isn't my size. I think it's because I chose a hardbound, like big bound book. But I just want to show you that journaling every day, isn't something that, I think you need to focus on or worry about. I just think, spending time in your journal. Like, here's this summer. This is my little One Book July book, which is the journal portion of my planner. I hope I'm in the screen, yeah. And so all I did was I wrote down, my intentions for this insert. I put some watercolor down. So I started One Book July actually on the 24th of June, and that's when I wrote this. But then the next time I actually was in this was on July 5th. And then, oh no, wait, here, July 2nd. That one page was July 5th. Here's July 3rd, July 4th, July 6th. Now it's a little bit easier because this is such a tiny little insert, July 7th. I guess I did do this quite a few days. July 8th, July 8th, July 9th, a little doodle I did of Winnie the Pooh. July 10th. Well, that's actually more days. Okay, July 12th. So the 11th, there was nothing in here. I just put some washi down because I didn't feel like doing anything. There's the 13th. Some ideas I put down in here. The 15th. Let's see what's here. Some more ideas about my TN. There's the 17th, so we did skip a day. So today is the 21st. I did this today on the 21st, but notice I have the 17th was the last day I did some writing in here. So I did this. And so I've also done a bunch of swatches in the back. I did them in the back. I don't know why. It's just I'm used to doing them in the back, so I did them back there. But, I did have a good number of days in a row where I journaled, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world that I missed, from the 17th through the 21st. Only reason this is separate is I was using watercolor brushes and I didn't know how they would do with the Tomoe River paper. So there's that insert. Let's see. Now this one was a project I did. It was my November insert, and this is a insert from Designs by Planner Perfect. Now this one, I went hardcore. I went all out. I tipped in, these, whatever this is, that acetate. I used stickers. I had stickers, I used it. I had washi tape, I used it. I had little Post-it notes. I used I tipped in leaves. This was a much more beautiful color when I tipped it in, but you know what happens to leaves. There's another little tip in, another leaf, some cute little washi tape. Seamus had to go to the groomers, so there's a little reminder, or the vet. I voted. This one I did do every day because I was using this as my planner and as my journal. And then I took photos and posted or stuck the photos in there. So this one, you'll see, I did do quite a bit. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna go totally extreme. It also helped that I was on the Coco Daisy design team that month. And so all of the tip-ins, all of the stickers, all of the post-it notes, all of the washi, all of the cardstock I got for free. So that was one reason. I was having to write blog posts. I was having to do all of that stuff. So one of the reasons why I used this one so much. So that was November. But then, let's see, is this? Yeah, so this was December. B6 Slim was a good size for me for quite a few months. And I think it's because I had a traveler's notebook that I really loved. It was a beautiful mustard yellow by Kat at Boho Cottage. Then I switched to A6, and that didn't last long. But you'll also notice, after I think a month of doing so much of this, I think I just needed a change. And so I did just words for quite a long time, just words on white paper. Then I did add a little bit of watercolor for a few pages, just checking them out, and then back to just words on paper, some Chic Sparrow and Allie Brown stuff. But again, this right here is the month, if you can see how thick that is the month of November. This is the month of December. Actually, it goes into January. So you can see how extra this month was and how not so extra these 2 months were. So it just goes to show you that, you know, everybody goes through stages where, you know, they want to write in their journal. They want to get stuff down on paper. They want to be creative. Actually, I was doing this in November as well, along with my other one. You know, there was one of my blog posts I decided to put in here. Yeah, I was being all extra the month of November. See, just as extra as you can get. So that was November. That was December. It's just, you know, very, very interesting what we go through. And I think anyone can make any size work for them. Now this one I started in March, right around the time the Allie Brown stuff came. Oops. And a Chic Sparrow, and I had some really cute items. And then some articles I just tipped in that I really loved. I just really liked that photo. Some photos. So this one is March, April, and I was doing watercoloring, like my new pen pouch and my Biele Noci, St. Petersburg, Nevskaya Palitra watercolors. Some little tip-ins. I don't remember what this was. Oh. Yeah. I had a wonderful friend send me some Daniel Smith watercolor and some cute little stickers. Some stencil stuff, you know. So I think what it is don't be afraid. Like, this is going to be my journal once One Book July is done. I have a couple of things that I've done inside of it, but see the Mr. Toast. Like a really interesting little diner we went to called the Black Bear Diner. A little Winnie the Pooh that I saw a photo of and I wanted to try and draw it because it's the old style of Winnie the Pooh, not the new style. So, you know, don't be afraid. You know, if you're feeling like writing in your journal, write in your journal. If you're not feeling like writing in your journal, you know, don't write in your journal. It's okay. There's no right, there's no wrong. If you wanna, like this one, Jane Davenport had just come out with her 2 new books last summer, and so I was trying to draw in her style and do some watercolor stuff. Trying to mimic a Jane Davenport girl. Look at how horrible I did her hands and her wrists. Whew. You know, if anything, if all you feel like doing is putting some watercolor on a page, put some watercolor on a page. If you feel like, you know, trying to learn how to draw Jane Davenport eyes and faces, do that. You know, this is basically working through the Jane Davenport book. That's a, I tried to draw a James Burke stamp, one of his mail stamps. So, you know, there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no correct number of days that you should journal or you shouldn't journal. You journal when you feel like journaling, and that's okay. And whatever you put in your journal is what you decide you want to put in your journal. You know, don't try to mimic what I've done. Don't try to mimic what anybody else has done. Just do what you feel you want and you need to do. So I guess that's my advice for today. There's no right, there's no wrong. You do you. Okay, if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you want to share, you know, how you journal, what you journal, why, when, you know, leave that down there and let's start a conversation. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.